What up, traders? What up, investors? Ken here from Dyslexic Investor, and thank you for tuning in for another fantastic stock breakdown. And as you've already known, if you were part of the live stream yesterday, we talked about Zoom video communication, ticker symbol ZM. Of course, this one has really breached and just really gone parabolic. We're looking here actually the day of how it closed yesterday. And if you look at after hours trading, again, this is the morning after, around a little after 7 a.m. We're looking at $412. So we were looking at maybe it hitting around 356 if everything was going pretty well and they beat the numbers. Nah, they wanted to go a little bit higher, and they wanted to go all the way up past 400. We have a couple folks, I think it was Yeet and a couple other folks who bought like the 380, 400 call, and on the full disclosure, I was like, hey, that's very unlikely of happening looking at the statistics. But of course, they were very understanding that is a YOLO play, and that YOLO play did somewhat pay off for them. Well, it did. But now seeing those really high extended prices, what could happen next? To kind of look at what was really to look at the highlight of the large trade we saw yesterday was basically someone buying the 18th of September of this year, the 400 call, and they bought 410 of those for a price of about $3. So we're going to be cutting this video in half. So once the market opens up, we're going to be looking at that price and seeing on how that has gone up. We're looking probably for this price to probably go up 2 to even 3 times. So this call could easily be well over $10 come the opening, and depending on how it trades, if the stock continues going up, and how basically how the IV is going to be interacting with that option. So it'd be something really interesting to see. So basically that overall trade was about $120,000-ish dollars. What was the trade? It's about 120. Let's just call it $123,000. So we'll kind of compare that as of the trade, and then of course once the morning bell rings, we can kind of see where that lands in the zone of profit. Even with that, if we can, so on the live stream as well, we did break down like a minute chart. So even the run up into earnings, we basically ran up from around 319, 318 to around 325, so about $6 or $7 in the last 10-ish minutes. So that was the full disclosure, I was slightly concerned of that. In the sense of we did take a position on the stock. We sold some puts, but we did not do any calls due to the fact of IV and the overall explosion of IV crush after earnings. So we took a very conservative bet. We just sold some puts. Again, those have made us some money, but nowhere near the folks who bought or took the onslaught of risk of buying the $400 call. Of course, greater the risk, the greater the reward. That's basically how options work. I'm a little bit more conservative with my capital, and some folks are just a little bit more willy-nilly. Not saying that's a bad thing, it's just not my cup of tea. That being said, we're looking for these prices to continue. So we can kind of go somewhat to CRM. So CRM had, again, that huge explosive move as well after earnings, really gapping up large, and then even the following day after that did gap up to an all-time high. Will it breach even higher levels? So we can kind of look at here, we had targets at basically 325 for that. I think that is a little bit further extended than we would like to see. But going back to ZM, what we could be projecting and looking at potential movement, we're basically potentially looking for that $400 price. Again, trading around 410, 411 now. Looking for that potentially to come up to 420, even maybe to 434. That's going to be super extended there. Of course, the RSI and volumes on oscillator are going to go off the roof, because this is basically a 2 standard deviation move. So the market makers weren't expecting this. They were expecting a move, I think, about $30, $32. And of course, that has blown up substantially, nearly well over double. And now that market move is just really trying to, in the beginning, probably the first 5 to 10 minutes is going to be pretty chaotic with the amount of movement that we're going to see within those options prices. The spreads are going to be pretty wide. So I would wait. If you want to take your profit, just kind of put in a number that you kind of see on the board, because again, we can look at that options, when it goes live, we'll cut to it and we'll see on how the overall price has gained up and how the IV has changed. So as of right now, that IV has come down a little bit due to the earning stuff, but that IV is still highly rated. Even on, it was like 131%. That IV would come down, but the options we're looking at is on the 18th. So again, that IV was fairly high, but I think, again, it still has plenty of time, literally a little over 2 weeks still left. So again, yeah, the market makers were thinking about a $30 move within those options. So that's a pretty large move. Again, we can see on how it goes out once the opening bell starts, and we'll cut to that once it starts. All right, I'll catch you guys in a little bit. All right, so the market has been open for a little bit now, looking at basically 5 to 7 minutes here, and of course Zoom is still up. This is crazy, 107 bucks, 32%. And those particular calls that we were talking about, again, the trader or investor, whoever, bought for basically $3. They made a nice profit, boys and girls. They're up around $1.9 million, so about nearly $2 million. So basically $123,000 to nearly $2 million is a pretty good day without a doubt. And if they're still continuing to climb, again, those still have some time left. Definitely very interesting. Let's go ahead and pin to the chart here. It's literally hitting that top band at the 423 Fibonacci retracement around $434. Again, this is a substantial move. Everyone's just kind of recalculating everything right now and trying to figure out what in God's green is going on with these this large deviation move. And basically, this would be a very terrible time to be a short seller within Zoom, especially with a huge earnings uprise and beating and going on to like a 2 deviation move, and just really just kind of blowing out a lot of those squeezing here to the short side here. Looking for that to potentially hold around 434. Again, this is a pretty massive move, so we could be looking for some consolidation here. Like we talked about CRM potentially having a little bit of move within this range, but again, anything can happen. The next target is at 560. I know that sounds absolutely insane to say out loud, but $560 is the next upside target. Doesn't mean it's going to happen today. That's the next potential target. Some downside support really is going to be coming in quite a ways down here around the 356, but we can kind of do a little bit more of a breakdown with the retracements here. So swing high to swing low to high again. So that really kind of comes into, let's go to a 1 minute chart to kind of break this down. Oh, that's too much. Let's go to like an hourly chart. So we're looking here. So potentially support basically coming in around 404. Anywhere from 412 to 404 to the downside. Again, this is going to be on the short-term side. Doesn't mean that this is going to be longer-term support, but we're looking here between that 5 and 8, kind of lines up with the 618 here. So around 412 could be an intraday trade, even down support to 404, and then even coming down to 381. Like we talked about on the daily side, we're really looking for some support much lower here, because this again is a huge run up, and if you're in this trade, fantastic, pat on the back. Definitely want to shout out Yeet, because he literally just went bananas and did a crazy YOLO play, and he's definitely banking on that, printing that money today in his account without a doubt. Again, guys, I hope this was educational, hope this was fun and entertaining. Please, if you're considered subscribing, subscribe. If you like the content, thumbs up. If you didn't, you know where the thumbs down is. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in checking out the Discord, that link is in the description down below. And as well, we have a link to a Patreon page and as well the YouTube membership tab if you're interested in joining and supporting the channel. Again, this is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace!